Hi everyone, my name is Corbana and I'm back. Yes, it has been a while, but I have finally made a return to YouTube. Had to stop doing videos about a year ago because neighbour and things escalated to the point that I had to leave the flat because he was becoming more of a nuisance than I could deal with. Music till 2, 3 in the morning and then doing it through the day and coming to the door and threatening violence. It got to the point where I had to remove myself from the situation lest something happen. So I'm finally out and I've got my own place. And whilst everything's still in boxes and I'm still unpacking, I am sort of in a position now where I feel comfortable enough that I can actually sit down and do one of these and not worry about somebody coming to the door or somebody starting playing music above me. So I'm I'm in my own place. It's great. That being said, I'm sure you've come here for pickups, and so we'll show a few things. I've not got a lot to show because I've not been buying as much. I did have a bit of a revelation when I stopped doing these videos that a lot of the games I was buying just to show in videos and then put on shelves and never really play. And so I've tried to stop that, and I've been pretty good with myself. I maybe only buy a couple of free games a month at the moment, with the odd splurge like this one, which we'll get into shortly. But I have been a lot better with it, and I've also started to, now that I'm in this place, I've started to create the collection a little bit, and so I've gone through my DS, I've gone through my 3DS, and I've slimmed that down quite significantly, to about a quarter of the size of the collection. Just games that I'll play or games that I want to play at some point, rather than just anything and everything, because there was some real tat in there. And now it feels like it's a collection that there's nothing on there that I wouldn't pick up and play. And so I need to do that with the other parts of my collection, and I think next up is probably the OG Xbox, which, I'll be honest, I'm thinking about just going to the backwards compatible stuff so that I can play it in the series, and maybe a handful of other games, because I think things like the original Fable isn't in the backwards compatible set. Admittedly, I think the 360 anniversary collection is, so there's a way around it, but just a couple of bits like that that I feel like I'd want to have in the collection, I'll probably keep hold of. But when it comes to stuff that I've no particular attachment to, no desire to play, I'm probably going to let that stuff go. Okay, anyway, yeah, so I'm playing a lot more, I'm buying a lot less, but I do have some stuff to show. First up, I've got a couple of bits from the car boot. These are not exciting. They were okay price, I think. They were £4 each, but I've got these to hopefully help me complete these games as time goes on. They're just some manuals. I'm a bit of a sucker when I see things like manuals for games that I either own or that I need. But I got Super Strike Gunner. This one I do have the cartridge for, but I don't have a box. Yes, the manual's not in great shape, but it's there, and hopefully I'll be able to pull that one together. Choplifter 3, don't have anything for this one, so again, hopefully I'll find a boxed without manual in CEX and I'll be able to pull that one together. And then finally, Wing Commander, the Secret Missions. This one I don't think CEX sell, or at least I can't see it on their website, so I think this is going to be one that I find in a game shop or a games fair. And because I've got the manual, hopefully I'll be able to get one a bit cheaper than full price. In addition, I've got an eBay purchase. I've not got a lot of eBay to show, because again, it's all gone on the shelves. But I got Super Smash Brothers, but this is the cardboard outer sleeve, and I saw this, and I'd never seen one before. From what I can see, and I'm making a bit of a guess and an inference because there's not much online about it, but this looks like it was an Italian slipcover, and you got 2 copies of Smash Brothers in here, one for you, one for a friend, and then you could play together and fight one another, and quite a cool little idea. So I'm going to keep an eye out for a couple of these USK Smash Brothers and CEX, and hopefully over time I'll find a couple of them to put this together, and yeah, just a bit of an oddity that I'd never seen before. And then The bulk of this pickup is some retro. For those of you like your retro, there's some NES stuff here. This was all a pickup from 1CX. I just went in one day and there was an NES console that I saw on the floor, and it's like, oh, there must be some NES stuff in. And on top of it was a box for a controller, which I bought. I'll show now. It's the NES Advantage. I've always fancied getting a boxed one of these just to have on the shelf. I love a boxed accessory, a boxed controller. I'd love a boxed standard controller, but they just never seem to appear in CEX or online for a decent price. But in decent shape. The insert isn't in there, but I think it just looks so good on the shelf, and I think this will be brilliant. So yeah, I'm really pleased to get that. I think it's like £25 or thereabouts. But they also got some games, and so I used up the vouchers that I built up over trading in my DS and 3DS games, and got myself a pile of new NES games, a couple of which I bought for nostalgia, and a couple of them I will actually play because they're games I love. But this first one is probably more of a nostalgia pickup. I've never actually played this game on the NES. I have no idea if this is going to be good or bad, but I loved the cartoon, and that's Tiny Toons Adventures. I just, yeah, but Babs and Buster Bunny, and I always forget what the Tasmanian Devil was called, but yeah, just all the different characters from the original cartoon, and so I'm really hoping that this is going to hold up and be good. I realise I've got nowhere to put this stuff. As usual, I built myself a new desk and it's just full of stuff. Next one is a game that I love, maybe controversially so, because I know this isn't widely enjoyed by a lot of people who like Mario games, but I really do like this one, and that's Mario 2. I don't know what it is about it, but I just remember playing this as a kid, and me and my brother would play it, and we get to the end of the stage and you get the slot machine for the coins that you'd picked up through the level to get extra lives, and we'd hand the controller over to our mum who'd do the slot machine to get us some extra lives, and then we'd go on, and I remember fighting Birdo at the end of the first world, and then was it Mauser after that, and yeah, I love this game. So much nostalgia for this, and one that I definitely want to play again at some point. Next one, sticking with Mario, is the original Super Mario Brothers, and I think the woman that served me was a bit taken aback by how picky I was about this box, because it's too clean for me. It almost felt like somebody had brought in a fake game in amongst all these other ones. And I mean, as you can see with Mario 2, Mario 2's in a similar state of loveliness, but it's got a sticker on the spine which makes me think that this is, try and cover my face so it actually focuses, makes me think that this is actually genuine. It's just been really well looked after. And similarly with Tiny Toons, there is a couple of bits of damage on there, which again adds some credence to it being a genuine game. But this one is just so mint. There's no stickers, there's no damage. It's just such nice condition that it took me aback, and I'm there looking at it in the shop, just trying to spot any sort of blemishes or imperfections or anything that would indicate that this was genuine or not. And in the end, I've bought it at risk. I think it is legit, and it's just been really well looked after, because when I looked at the other games, like the two I've shown and the two I've got to show, they're all in really, really nice shape. And so I think the person just, when they played the games, they put them away and they looked after them. And so really happy to get a boxed copy of this, because again, it's a game that I've got a lot of nostalgia for. I remember playing it, and even playing it in like challenges a few years ago now, but how far can you get on one life? And yeah, I really enjoyed this game. Next, a game that I haven't actually played before, but a lot of nostalgia for the franchise, and that's Jurassic Park on the NES. And even got a bit of nostalgia for the sticker on there, Woolworths $29.99. Absolute bargain. If you could get that for this price now, you'd be very happy. But yeah, just a game that, again, no nostalgia for the game itself. It's more about the franchise, and I remember watching the movie back in the day, and the more recent ones haven't been great, but I've enjoyed them. And then finally, as you may have guessed from past videos, I am a bit of a Disney fan. I like all the late 80s, early 90s Disney, especially the singy stuff, and this ticks both the boxes for me. I've never played the game, so hopefully it's great, but the Jungle Book, again, a wonderful Woolworth sticker there for $24.99. I wish this was $24.99. This took up a good portion of the voucher. But the box, again, is just so nice. It's in really good shape. So yeah, really pleased to get all of these for the collection. Load of new stuff for me to play. That has definitely been a bit of a theme for this past year, is playing a lot more games rather than buying. And I have been enjoying actually getting into the games that I bought. So with that said, and that side, I am going to wrap the video up here and make some tea. Thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. It's good to be back, and I will see you in the next one.